Welcome to the YouTube channel of Chamili Devi Institute of Pharmacy Indore for pharmacy related updates. Today we are going to discuss routes of drug administration. So let's begin with the introduction part. The first step in pharmacokinetics is the administration and absorption of drugs. The chemical structure and nature of drug may determine which route of administration can be used for a drug. Drug absorption depends on the route of administration. When a drug is administered into the mouth orally, absorption will be from the gastrointestinal tract. However, if a drug is administered into a venous or vein, it is intravenously, absorption will be from the circulation. A route of administration is the path by which a drug, fluid, poison, or other substance is brought into the contact with the body and came into the circulation. No single method of drug administration is ideal for all drugs in all circumstances. The routes of drug administration are described as enteral, which means into the gastrointestinal tract or directly into the intestine, or parenteral, not into the gastrointestinal tract. Routes that are enteral into the gastrointestinal tract are oral and rectal. Routes that are parenteral include sublingual under the tongue and injections, which can be to a variety of sites, example into the vein, intravenous, into the muscle, intramuscular, under the skin, subcutaneous. Other parenteral routes include topical, which is to a body surface such as the skin, nose, eyes, etc., and pulmonary, which is delivered to the lungs. These routes of drug administration are considered in sequence. The route of administration used for a drug may also depend on whether a systemic around the body effect is required. Local administration is a way of trying to limit the effect of a drug to a local area. According to this flowchart, the routes of administration can be divided into 5 major parts. The first one is enteral, the second one is parenteral administration, third is transdermal administration, fourth is inhalation administration, and fifth is topical administration. The enteral administration can be further divided into oral, buccal, rectal route, and sublingual. Parenteral administration can be classified into intravenous, intramuscular, subcutaneous, intraarterial, intraarticular, intrathecal, and intradermal on the basis of a specific site of administration. First of all, we will discuss about the oral route of drug administration, its advantages and disadvantages. The PO is an abbreviation from Latin that means per OS, which is used for oral route of medication administration. Absorption mainly takes place from the intestine. Some factors affecting the absorption administration through oral route, that is physiological factors and drug related factors. It may include the medical condition and biological condition of patients. So what are the advantages of the oral route of administration? It is safer than other routes. It requires no sterilization. It is more convenient, can be self-administered. It is pain-free and easy to take. Absorption mainly takes from the whole length of GI tract, which is usually good absorption. Economically, it is more valuable compared to most other parenteral routes. It is cheaper than other parenteral routes. Along with advantages, there are some disadvantages, like it cannot be used with uncompliant patients, patients who are unconscious, and infants. Irritable and unpalatable drugs creates irritation to gastric mucosa, nausea, and vomiting. It may go for local degradation due to the enzymatic and acidic activity. Slow absorption and action may occur. Interaction sometimes inefficient because only part of the drug may be absorbed. The first pass effect, drugs absorbed orally are initially transported to the liver via the portal vein. So there are some examples of oral dosage forms. The common dosage forms for oral administrations are tablets, capsules, liquids, solutions, suspensions, syrups, and elixirs. So moving towards the first classification of oral drug route administration, that is buccal route of administration. The name itself well defined. The dosage form is placed between the gums and inner lining of the cheek, that is buccal pouch, absorbed by buccal mucosa. You can see the following images which shows how to take or how to administer drug via buccal route of administration. There are several advantages and disadvantages of buccal route of drug administration. So what are the advantages? It avoids first pass effect. So local degradation may not occur. Rapid absorption due to buccal mucosa absorption. Drug is more stable in this route of drug administration. There are several disadvantages, like it is inconvenient for patients. If a patient swallowed the drug, the advantages may be fully lost. It requires a small dose limit. So moving towards the next classification of oral drug route administration, that is rectal route of drug administration. The rectum is the end of large intestine and is about 15 to 20 centimeter long. Drugs are specially formulated for rectal administration, and the solid drug formulations for rectal use are known as suppositories. Rectal administration avoids first pass liver metabolism. This is because after insertion into the lower part of the rectum, absorption is into rectal veins and then into general circulation. As the absorption is not into the portal veins, this avoids first pass metabolism. Another advantage of rectal administration is that the rectum has little enzymatic activity, and this route avoids upper gastrointestinal acids and enzymes which destroy many drugs. Rectal administration may be useful in the presence of upper gastrointestinal disease, which affects the absorption of the drug given via oral administration. Some examples of suppositories and enema are aspirin, theophylline, and chlorpromazine. So, what are the advantages of rectal drug route administration? It is used for children. Little or no first pass effect may occur. Used in vomiting and unconscious patients. Higher concentrations rapidly achieved used in children. Disadvantages: it is also inconvenient. Absorption is slow and erratic. Irritation or inflammation of rectal mucosa may occur. The next part is sublingual route of drug administration. The sublingual administration is where the dosage form is placed under the tongue, rapidly absorbed by sublingual mucosa. Which type of drugs are administered via sublingual route? If the drug or rapid response is required. If the drug is unstable at gastric pH, it may be administered via sublingual route. Drug rapidly metabolized by the liver. If absorbed drugs directly reach systemic circulation bypassing portal circulation, hence escape first pass metabolism, so it is more effective than other route of drug administrations. Advantages of the sublingual route of drug administrations are: it is more economical, cheaper than other parenteral dosage forms. If termination is required, so it is very quickly terminated. It avoids first pass metabolism. can be self-administered and drug absorption is so quick. There are several disadvantages like unpalatable and bitter drugs cannot be administered via sublingual drug route of administration. Irritation of oral mucosa may occur. Large quantities cannot be administered via sublingual route of administration. There are several drugs which are not absorbed via this route of administration, or few drugs only absorbed via sublingual drug route of administration. So moving towards the next classification, that is systemic parenteral route of administration. Parenteral administration is injection or infusion by means of a needle or catheter inserted into the body. The term parenteral comes from Greek word para, that means outside, and enteron means intestine. If a drug administered outside the intestine and bypasses the alimentary canal, it is known as the parenteral route of drug administration. On the basis of a specific site of administration, the parenteral route of administration can be divided into further parts, that is intravenous, intramuscular, subcutaneous, intraarterial, intraarticular, intrathecal, and intradermal. If the drug is directly administered via veins, it is known as intravenous route of drug administration. There are several advantages like bioavailability of intravenously administered drug is 100%. The desired blood concentration is easily achieved. Large quantities can be administered via intravenous route of drug administration. In case of vomiting and diarrhea, it is very useful. In emergency situation, intravenous route of administration quickly gives the more effect. It avoids first pass metabolism, so avoid gastric manipulation also. There are several disadvantages over the advantages of intravenous drug route of administration, that is irritation and cellulitis, thrombophlebitis, repeated injections not always feasible, less safe than other route of drug administration, technical assistance required. There are danger of infections. It is more expensive than other route of administration and less convenient and painful. If a drug administered directly into the muscles, that is known as intramuscular route of drug administration, there are advantages of intramuscular route of drug administration, that is absorption is reasonably uniform, rapid onset of action, mild irritants can also be inserted, first pass metabolism is avoided, that gastric factors also avoided. Disadvantages are only up to 10 ml drugs can be given into the intramuscular route of drug administration, local pain and abscess, it is expensive than other route of drug administration, infection may occur, nerve damage may occur, and it also requires the professional training. If the drug is directly injected under the skin, that is known as subcutaneous, absorption is slow, so action is prolonged. Implant is also used in the subcutaneous type of drug administration. A tablet or porous capsule is inserted into the loose tissue by incision of the skin, which is then stitched up. The examples of implants are certain hormonal drugs which is used for the subcutaneous route of drug administration. Advantages of subcutaneous routes are blood supply is very low or less, so slow absorption, that is the prolonged action. Depot preparation can be used. Risk associated with intravascular injection avoided. Disadvantages are should be avoided in shock patients. Only small volume can be injected. Intraarterial. So the name of this type of classification itself says the drug administered into the arteries is known as intra-arterial route of administration. It is rarely used. Most of the time, anti-cancer drugs are given via this route of administration for localized effect. If the drug used for diagnosis of peripheral vascular disease, it may be given via intra-arterial route of drug administration. The other part is intra-articular. It means the injection of antibiotics or corticosteroids are administered in inflamed joints, cavities by experts. Example, hydrocortisone in rheumatoid arthritis are inserted or administered via intra-articular route of drug administration. In this type of administration, the injection is given in between the joints and cavities of the joints. You can see the image of intra-articular type of drug administration. Intradermal, it means the injection is given into the layer of the skin. The drug is given within skin layers, that is dermis. It is painful and the mainly used for testing the sensitivity of the drugs. Example, penicillin, most of the anti-tetanus serum. Inoculation may also used as an intradermal route of drug administration. For the vaccines like smallpox vaccines are inoculated using intradermal route of drug administration. Transdermal route of drug administration requires stable blood levels. No first pass metabolism take place into the transdermal route of drug administration, and drug must be potent or in the patch form. The transdermal route of drug administration is administration and absorption of drug through skin, systemic action. The drug or transdermal route of drug administration achieves systemic effect by application of drug to the skin. Rate of absorption determined by the drug factors and site of action, slow effect that prolong the drug action. It avoids first pass metabolism. Absorption increases in case of oily base, occlusive dressings and rubbing preparations. Inhalation route of drug administration is another classification of drug route administration. If the drug used for the effects on the pulmonary system are often administered by inhalation to give the highest concentrations of the drug into the lungs. The human respiratory tract has a considerable surface area which should aid absorption, but most of this is deep in the alveolar region of the lungs and it is difficult to deliver drugs deep into the lung. Inhalation is not actually a very good way of delivering drugs to the lungs, as only about 10% of a drug that is inhaled actually goes to the lungs. The rest is swallowed and may be absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract. With inhalation, predominant local effects are achieved in pulmonary diseases like bronchial asthma by having the highest concentration of the drug into the lungs. In asthma, metered dose inhalers are used. These have an inert propellant gas and require good hand breath coordination to achieve inhalation rather than swallowing. An example of a drug that is used in a metered dose inhaler is salbutamol for the treatment of bronchial asthma. Another way to deliver drugs to the airways is to use nebulizers. Nebulizers produce fine droplets in the air, that is aerosol, and are used to deliver large doses of drugs in an emergency. Thus, in the emergency treatment of asthma, large dose of salbutamol can be delivered by a nebulizer. Topical route of administration is the application of a drug delivery to the surface of the skin. It includes administration of drug to any mucosal membrane, that is eye, vagina, nose, urethra, ears, colon and lungs. The topical dosage forms are dose forms for topical administration includes skin creams, ointments, lotions, gels, transdermal patches and discs. In ear and eyes, solutions, suspensions and ointments. for nose and lungs sprays and powders. There are several advantages and disadvantages of topical route of drug administration. It gives local therapeutic effects, not well absorbed into the deeper layers of the skin or mucosal membrane, lower risk of side effects. Transdermal route offers steady level of drug into the circulation or into the system. Sprays for inhalation through the nose may be for local or systemic effects. So there is different time until effect in different type of route of administration. In case of intravenous, it is 30 to 60 seconds. In case of intraosseous, 30 to 60 seconds. Intrathecal, 2 to 3 minutes. In inhalation, 2 to 3 minutes. In type of sublingual type of administration, that is 3 to 5 minutes. In case of intramuscular, 10 to 20 minutes. In case of subcutaneous, 15 to 30 minutes. Rectal administration requires 5 to 30 minutes. Ingestion required 30 to 90 minutes. And transdermal or topical may be varies with the minutes to hours. Selection of route is based on the various factors. Which type of route of administration is more effective is based on the physical characteristics of the drug, the speed which the drug is absorbed and or released, the need to bypass hepatic metabolism to achieve higher concentration at particular site, accuracy of dosage, condition of the patients are some of the factors which requires for the selection of the route of drug administration. So thanks for the day. I hope this presentation is helpful to understand the route of administration and the classification of the various routes of drug administration.